Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. I'm live. I wanted to do a live all week and I was just so busy. So there's just been absolutely so much news. So I thought, you know what? Merry Christmas. It's Sunday. It's a great time to go live. And what I'm going to cover today and what I want to talk about. And there's just so much stuff to cover that I thought that we would talk about really three things. The three things that stood out to me the most. And of course, it is a lot of the usual suspects, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, what happens at AmFest. But as we go through this live, hey, welcome. Let me know where you're from. Thanks for being here. Hey, everybody, say hello. And by the way, before we get started, I really want to grow this channel and I love that you guys are joining. So like and subscribe. And if you're so inclined, super chats are open. So, and you can join as a member. So welcome. Where are you guys coming from? Introduce yourselves. Love to have you here. Anyway, as we go through this live, like I said, I'm going to cover three different things: Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and what's happening on AmFest. But my overall framework and the question that I want you to think about as we go through this is, is the left winning? With the loss of Charlie Kirk, has all of the damage in the injury yet to be realized? And as we're seeing everything, the fighting in MAGA and all that kind of stuff. My question is, you know, uh, are we still feeling the fallout from Charlie Kirk, the loss of Charlie Kirk? So anyway, like I said, there's a ton of news. And whoever's in the chat, say hello. Merry Christmas. Glad you're here. So what I wanted to talk about to start with, and just to bring you up to speed. Hello, legendary Meshach. Where are you from? Welcome. Glad you're here. What I wanted to talk about again is Megyn Kelly. We're going to start there. So Megyn Kelly thinks that the issue with Megyn Kelly is she's making a miscalculation. And I actually believe for Megyn Kelly, it is going to be a fatal miscalculation. She was welcomed back into the MAGA movement in June of 2024 by bending the knee to Steve Bannon, because there's another history there. And if you guys want me to talk about it in the chat, I've got it all teed up and ready to go. But let's watch, to bring everybody to speed, what a Merry Christmas. Oh, you're from England. Wonderful. Oh, merry old England at Christmas time. That's great. Here's what she did. She brokered the meeting, and let's share that clip right now, and we kind of like get everybody up to speed. And there's a lot more about Megyn. Okay, so here we go. Here she is talking about how she did this whole thing. Ready? Let her rap.
I haven't said anything given my previous statements about Erica. And the reason is that I have been working behind the scenes to try to foster a détente between them. Erica called me weeks ago and asked me if I would be part of this sit down with them, which originally they had contemplated might be for consumption by the public, might air in some way, shape, or form, and asked if I would.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it here for 1 second, because this is what I want you to think about. The problem is, and what Megyn doesn't understand, and she's going to talk about her core audience in a minute, is the real reason everybody is so very, very upset about this is because she's giving legitimacy to Candace Owens that Candace does not deserve. Okay, that's the real firestorm here, Megyn. So let's let it rip. Let's keep it going. And I welcome you guys' comments as we rip through this.
Would facilitate that meeting between the two of them. And I said, yes, immediately. Of course I would. I reached out to Candace. She said, absolutely. I'm thrilled it's you. I'm in. And the two of them took it from there, trying to negotiate the specifics of what they'd both be comfortable with, where, when, etc. And eventually it changed after they hit some roadblocks. Again, that's for someone else to tell you about if they so choose. I understand my core audience knows who I am and would never have assumed the worst about me, that I was just abandoning Erica or getting ready to pound.
So I think that that's where there was a fatal mistake. I think Megyn was absolutely wrong. She does not understand her core audience. People were just very, very inflamed and upset about it because you're giving uh, Candace, who really she has no business being involved in this at all. She wants to cover it on her podcast. That's totally fine. Whatever. She's got a podcast, but she's doing a lot more than that. And that's where it came from. And you made a huge miscalculation, Miss Megyn Kelly. So let's keep going because it gets worse and she gets, I think, more offensive as this whole thing unraveled. Welcome to the chat. We've got 28 in the chat. Say hello, everybody. Let me know where you're from. And support and like the channel, of course. Super chats are open. I would love to have you guys join the community. Anyway, let me keep going. Why are you such a crash out? Megyn is disgusting, being an apologist for Epstein. A crash out? I don't know what that means, Arthur. Are you being mean? Don't do that. Okay, let's share. I'm going to keep it going because she does more. And bear with me, I'm trying to run my own. Here we go. Okay, so after she makes that announcement and there was all this backlash about it, she actually, here's what she said about Erica herself. Let's let this rip.
Though again, she hasn't graduated to blaming Erica for Charlie's murder. She's criticizing her and the media tour, and that is fair game. That piece of it is fair game. Though again, she hasn't graduated to blaming Erica for Charlie's.
Now, while I don't disagree with her that it's fair game to criticize the media tour and all that kind of stuff, it is actually if you have to explain the fact that Candace is not criticizing Erica, well, then obviously she is, because you have to actually explain it away, Megyn. And that's what the problem is. Potion calling, kettle black, aren't you doing the same thing? In what way, Raymond? What do you mean? And by the way, you guys, I don't mind disagreement at all. I'm totally all about it. But Ola, hi, Diana, welcome. I'd love to engage. Let's keep it rolling. But Megyn has more to say, which I think was particularly offensive. Who's that guy behind you? What guy? I don't know what you're talking about. It could be, maybe the cat. Is it the cat? Could be. He always comes on my lives. I don't know why. Hello, a new viewer from Atlanta, Georgia. Terrific point regarding the internal conflict with Megyn the Newry. Love it. Okay, let me keep going, guys, because I've got something else about Megyn Kelly I want to share, and then we're going to move on because I've got another point to make where Ben Shapiro does do the right thing. Okay, one last thing with Megyn, and then we'll keep it rolling. Okay, hang on. It's so hard to do this. Okay, here we go. Listen to this.
To the hateful people whom I used to call friends, who have been all over the internet trying to shame me and say that no one should ever listen to this program again because I haven't spoken out on the Erica Candace conflict. I don't have any pearls of wisdom other than go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. You have no fucking clue what's going on. You don't know what I do behind the scenes. And your world is so myopically online, you fail to understand there are real humans involved here.
Actually, Megyn, we don't fail to understand that. We know that. And that's what everybody's mad about, because Erica Kirk, well, Charlie is the victim here, but Erica Kirk is the victim, obviously, who is the next of kin. She's lost her husband. She's got 2 children that she now has to raise by herself. We do understand that there's real people. And that's what everybody's mad about, because you legitimize Candace Owens, who is the nucleus of this, and who is the cancer. And then you're going to go and act like that. And by the way, earlier in the clip, she was talking about how it was God that wanted her to broker this, and she could, maybe God was the one that wanted her to kind of, be the instrument, making her a channel of peace in this whole thing. And that's what's wrong. But Ben Shapiro, let's watch what Ben Shapiro had to say, because in my opinion, he did the absolute right thing. And I'm going to bounce that one up for you guys right now, too. Okay. All right. Here he is. Back it up a little bit. Here we go.
If Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk
100% correct.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk,
Correct.
and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder, to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name.
Okay, so here's what I say. Bravo, Ben Shapiro, for that. This is where he is absolutely 100% correct. And by the way, you guys, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel this way. That this whole thing that's going on with the fallout of the loss of Charlie Kirk, and we're seeing these people like Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro and others. What I find is very, very funny that is happening is that I'm finding myself really being upset with people I generally used to like, and now liking people that I generally haven't really supported or liked or particularly cared for in the past. Ben Shapiro, I was never a big Ben Shapiro fan, and whatever his motives are whatever they are, but he was 100% correct. You need to call this out because Candace Owen is doing a lot more than just asking questions. She's not just asking questions, and even she admits in a previous previous podcast of hers that, oh yeah, she was talking about tearing down and not donating. It was a Turning Point USA, a God-forsaken organization, and encourage people to stop donating to them. So anyway, let me get a little bit to the chat. We'll stop it for a minute and bring you guys into this conversation. I love that you're here. Okay. Nellosphere. Erica Kirk should have stepped away from Turning Point USA for a few months to deal with grief and losing her husband. I don't think that's wrong. I think that might have benefited from her, but she's made the decision that she's made. Okay. Chimera, whatever look, more retards. Really, that's not, it's not what we're about here in this channel. I like disagreement, but I want intelligent conversation. So if you're going to be a mouth breather and just, call people names and I'm counterpunching to you, that's fine. I really am not interested in that. I am interested in discourse and hearing what you guys have to say and things of an intelligent nature. All right. Nellosphere. Charlie was switching his view on Israel, and Ben hated that. And now who's on the stage where Charlie was going to be standing? Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on, and that is really, really, I've heard a lot of that stuff be legitimized and be true. But thank you for your comment. Candace has evidence that matches her. Actually, Erica has lied multiple times. Oh, Big Data Jay, how are you? You're back. Good to see you. Yay, Candace. Yay, Candace is pulling for strings. That interview with the mirror. Oh, yes. And I actually have Big Data Jay. Thanks for joining me again. I have stuff on that. So I'm going to be covering that a little bit. I just wanted to stop for a minute and get some comments going and some conversation going. So good to see you again. Merry Christmas. Why do we care who is CEO of Turning Point USA? Are we stakeholders? Good question. Kirk's death is fishy to say the least. This is Jag 540. Kirk's death is fishy to say at least. And the fact that it's been wrapped up and forgotten about is wild. She's done more journalistic work than the FBI to tell me he was shot Yeah, I mean, I actually, no, she hasn't. Well, journalistic work, she really hasn't. She has never left her studio. Actually, Jag 540. No, she really hasn't. So, with that, I think we are going to move on to the next part of it. So, we covered Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, and I had her Big Data J. You might remember this. I had. Um, I had called Megyn Kelly the biggest loser for last week. And Megyn Kelly is continuing her losing streak. And I actually think that the damage that she has done to herself and to her reputation is fatal. She's not going to be welcomed back into the MAGA base. Number one, and I can pull it up if you guys are interested, she had to bend the knee to Steve Bannon in the first place to get welcomed back into the MAGA base. And Megyn Kelly did that because she saw where the winds were blowing. And she's another one. No wonder she says she likes Candace so much. She is an opportunist and exploitative, in my opinion. And she saw where the wind was going in June of 2024. And she bent the knee to Steve Bannon because he did some things this weekend, but he pretty much was a big, you know, megaphone for the MAGA base. And that's how she got back into the good graces of MAGA and Turning Point USA and everybody else. So let me keep going and share because Megyn did a couple of more outrageous things. So Ben slams her. Here we go back with Megyn, and she doubles down on her love of Candace Owens. Oh, actually, here, I'll play this real quick. Here's what she had to say. Just like, I think it was yesterday.
It was fine. Again, I don't think Israel had anything to do with it, but why did I have an obligation to stop Candace from asking those questions? I didn't, and I didn't call her out because I favored her asking them. It was
okay. Not a strong moment for you, Megyn. That's not a strong moment for you. Again, I have another clip which I could also play where the reception that she was getting at AmFest was really not all that fabulous. I mean, people were walking out of her talk. So again, I think that this is a fatal error on the part of Megyn Kelly. But again, the overall question, and just as a reminder by which I opened up this live stream is, have we seen all of the collateral damage? Have we yet to realize how badly we have been wounded with the loss of Charlie Kirk? That's what I ask everybody. Oh yeah, actually, they weren't friends. They were colleagues in the grift. That's interesting. AmFest crowd rows were paid for. It's well known. Okay. Yeah, no, Jayla, that's a terrible thing to say. So we're gonna hide that comment. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. He was not. This is what happens when you wanted a big tent party. Charlie Kirk wasn't killed for his beliefs, in my opinion. My only question to people is, where is the audit that he wanted? That's a great question. And he did actually, he did order that. So one more clip of Megyn Kelly, then we're going to move on to Candace and we're going to keep it rolling. And again, if you guys like this, please subscribe, like, super chats are open, or become a member. I'm looking to grow this channel and just bring you better content or more content and expand it out. Okay. So Megyn also, this is interesting. Here she's talking about how she wasn't even really friends with Charlie Kirk.
I never went out to dinner with Charlie. I didn't know him quite like that, like a personal friend. I never went out to dinner with.
So yeah, I mean, she was just kind of grifting. But anyway, we are going to we're going to bounce over to Candace Owens now for the second swim lane. Candace Owens, who is the nucleus of this cancer, And one of the things that I was thinking about, and all week this was going on in my mind, is are you guys like me, where I'm watching these interviews and I'm like, people are missing the point, and I'm kind of yelling at the TV. Well, in this next couple of clips with Candace Owen, I am going to be sort of taking it from that framework. So Candace Owens was on Piers Morgan, and there were a couple of key things that happened here, and let me get to those. Okay, so I'm going to share that screen. Okay. All right, here we go. So in this clip, Piers is asking her, were there any lawyers there? And let's watch.
So there were no lawyers, for example.
No, no lawyers. But they did phone their lawyer because I asked the question. I was like, look, I'm open to being wrong. Obviously, if there is something, which I think the media was kind of hinting at, that they had more, but they couldn't share it with the public. I said, I'm happy to keep my mouth shut. And I want to feel good walking out of here that there is something there. There is some sort of a smoking gun. And I will tell viewers just to be patient. And so they did call one of the lawyers working on this case, and it was not convincing at all. He said, in effect, all we have is what the public has seen. And we won't know more because we're investigating and looking for more. And so that just made me go, why is everybody being so over the top and ridiculous?
Okay, so here's my question, and this is what I was screaming at the TV when I was watching this, is Candace, you don't have a seat at this table. You do realize this. You, Candace, are not an officer of the court. You are not an attorney on the actual the state of Utah. They're the ones that are prosecuting it. It's the state of Utah against Tyler Robinson at this point. That is what it is. You are not his wife. You have no business here, and nobody owes you anything. And then the other thing I'd like to know is, Candace, what relevant experience do you have to be even, judging that you weren't convinced? So what, you weren't convinced? Again, how many cases have you tried, Candace? What are you even doing here? Why is anybody even placating this woman? She shouldn't even be, which is why I was mad at Megyn Kelly to begin with, and why everybody was mad at Megyn Kelly to begin with, is because you're giving Candace Owen legitimacy. She does not have a seat at this table. This is none of your business. You're certainly free to, cover it from a podcast standpoint and all that kind of stuff. That's totally fine. But to try to blackmail, it's harassment actually of Erica Kirk, who is a widow. And I'm going to get to the whole morality of Candace Owen, and I'm going to ask you guys the question: does this sound like somebody who really is has a conflict in their soul and this big moral compass? But anyway, that is that made me so angry about this. Nobody owes you anything, Candace. Nothing at all. Okay, we'll let it roll a little bit more, and then I'm going to see what you guys have to say.
Ridiculous, and using words like the evidence is overwhelming. It was Tyler Robinson, when they don't have anything that's overwhelming to show that they don't have a video of him taking the shot, which I think was something that I assumed.
How does she know they don't have a video? She doesn't know anything. They're not going to share the evidence with her. She has no clue what they have or what they don't have. Okay, that's the first thing, Candace. The second thing is, again, and if you guys case in point to prove my point and, just strengthen what I'm saying here, she doesn't know what they have. Do you remember the Brian Kohlberger case, the Idaho 4 killed those 4 college kids? Horrific murder, and just took a plea deal. Like, I think it was, June or July of this past. I think it was July of this past year. Okay. Well, if you remember that case, and I did follow that case a lot, they didn't share a lot of evidence or information about what they had on Brian Kohlberger when they first arrested Brian Kohlberger, when he was the number 1 suspect. And then it turns out that he took a plea deal because they had overwhelming evidence on Brian Kohlberger. You don't know what they have, Candace. Ugh. Anyway, let me bounce to the chat for a second. They don't have anything overwhelming. Let me see. Not only that, there are so many people in the crowd who sent in videos. There are so many people. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a great point, Diane. We don't know what they have or what they don't have. 152 in the chat. Where is everybody from? Say hello. And I certainly hope you guys are liking and subscribing or joining the channel or something like that, because we're really having fun. 1 million people support Candace. So, okay. Yeah, she's got a large audience. There's no question about it. I actually think she's going to be sued. And I actually think she's going to be sued very shortly, because she's keeping this up. But that's my opinion. But you're right. She does have a big audience. No question about it. And they won't share anything with Candace. Thank you, Lady Jenny 1746. That's my whole point. And that's why I wanted to talk about, everything that happened this week. And, why are people not saying, why is she not being ignored? You have no claim to anything here, Candace. You're not first of kin. You're not an officer of the court. You are not really an investigative journalist at all. You have no business here. You don't need to go in and demand anything. Big Data J, exactly, Jag. That's my big question now. And they supposedly searched the area twice. I get that. I think I missed that question. Yeah, Trump is a piece of shit. It has nothing to do with anything. Again, we're looking for intelligent conversation. We're looking for good discourse. That just has nothing to do with anything. So anyway, but thanks for coming. They were best friends. Okay, got it. Is Candace Owens trans? Sorry, she looks like a man to me. Okay, well, I don't know about that, but anyway, all right. So I want to move on to the next thing. So there's another thing that she did, and she is talking about how she caught Turning Point USA in all of these lies, and actually she was caught in a lie. And so we're going to bounce to that, and let me go to that next. I'll stop sharing that and grab that next piece of footage. And I've got one or two more of Candace. And then we're going to move on to the third swim lane. But again, if the chat wants to talk about something else, I've got a lot of other things teed up that I'm ready to share and talk about too. Okay. Actually, bear with me. Guys, keep going, keep talking. Sorry. All right, here we go. So this is what she's saying about when Piers challenges her. Let her rip.
That multiple
Let me
people could have
explain
been
my
involved
thought
at
to you.
different levels.
Candace.
I was then connecting the dots and saying that in order for the JFK assassination to happen, there had to have been tons of people that were complicit,
I understand.
right?
I heard what you said.
Maybe you're the person who takes the cameras down. Maybe you're the person that told him to drive that day. Maybe you're LBJ. So they're not all complicit in the murder, but they're all at different varying stages involved in the cover-up, right? So that's what a grand conspiracy actually.
I mean, and I actually want to know how Candace knows that. What professional experience, what kind of, investigations you've been involved in? What have you done in your prior history? I mean, again, anybody goes on an interview, I want to get a job with a company, and I need to demonstrate to them that I am relevant and I belong in this room because I can help you because I've done this job before. Guess what, Candace Owens? You weren't even alive when JFK, you don't know anything. You have nothing. And a lot of us don't definitively know what has happened just yet. Okay, Candace? And that is my issue with you. You're talking about things that you just, again, this is all made up stuff, but watch how she talks about how she does not have any evidence. So everybody who's pro Candace in this chat, she doesn't have any evidence, and she speaks that she doesn't have any evidence to Piers Morgan right here.
actually is. And I do believe, so you don't have to go back and we don't have to go through it. I'm telling you what I think about Turning Point. You know, I am very known for being honest about what I believe. You're not, I'm not exactly a person that you got to pull teeth on.
Sure.
I believe that there are people at Turning Point who are engaged in covering up what happened on that day.
But were
I
any
have
of them
named-
engaged in the planning of the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I wouldn't know how it was planned. Absolutely. I can't make that. I cannot confidently make that statement. I can say confidently that I know they're engaged in the cover up because I've been investigating what happened on that day and what transpired thereafter. I've been clear. I've named those people on my show.
Okay, so she does not have any evidence. Number one, she just said it. I would have no idea. And she goes on to tell Piers Morgan that it's called an investigation. She doesn't have any evidence, but this is called an investigation. Piers, don't you know? Well, guess what, Eric, whatever your name is, Candace, I forgot for a second. Hey, Candace, guess what? Maybe here's what I think. I don't know. Maybe you had something to do with it, Candace. Again, I don't have any evidence of that. I'm just asking questions. It's called an investigation, Candace. That's all it is, Candace. Let's let her rip.
Show. I've said they are engaged in a cover up and I've listed the lies. So you don't have to try to make something out of what I didn't say. I tell you what I think. It's already controversial. We don't need to get more controversial. Okay. Do I think someone at Turning Point pulled the trigger? No. Obviously, I don't think someone at Turning
Do you
Point
think anybody at Turning Point
did anybody at Turning Point?
Did anybody at Turning Point, in your opinion, know that Charlie Kirk was going to be murdered?
There is specifically 2 people at Turning Point USA, and I have communicated that information to Erica and Justin Strife that I would not be surprised if they had foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk being assassinated.
But do you have any evidence?
I'm not going to name. I am not going to name those people, okay? Because it's not right for me to name those people until I know for a fact that they did.
Did you give the names Did you give the names to Erica?
Yes.
Okay, Miss, I'm so worried about things being right here. Anyway, let's jump to the chat real quick. This lady has a Karen vibe. Oh, who, me? Okay, that's kind of funny. I'm not a Karen at all, but okay. Yes, she does. You don't have a clue. Who doesn't have a clue, Richard? Richard Carpenter, 2082. I don't have a clue. God forbid that you respect her freedom to speech. Oh, thank you, Justin. I don't know. Are people insulting me? I've been actually talking. Yeah, Ryan, that's a nasty comment. And I'm going to kick you out of here, actually. Get him out. Okay. Okay, Karen. Okay. Hello, Lady Jenny. She says she's not caring, but we're watching her be a Karen that's just obnoxious. How am I being a Karen? I don't know what are you lots streets. Are you speaking of me? Are you saying that I'm a Karen? In what way? Because I'm challenging people. See, and whenever people get challenged, and I'm guessing you're pro Candace, and I'm probably guessing you are maybe not you're not a supporter of Charlie Kirk or Turning Point USA, is that when anybody gets challenged, then, you throw insults. I'm challenging Megyn Kelly. I am challenging whatever Owens, because they don't have anything. Megyn Kelly, I'm challenging her on the fact that she was never a conservative to begin with, and I can prove it to you. So you'd like me to do that? I'd be happy to do that. Number one. Number two, so that's my beef with Megyn Kelly. And Ben Shapiro did the right thing. No matter what you think about Ben Shapiro, he got up there on AmFest and said, we need to be calling these people out by name, because Candace Owens is doing a lot more than asking questions. Okay. She's doing a lot more than asking questions. She is destroying. She even said, and you can go back to her Twitter feed or her show, where she said it's a godforsaken organization and do not donate to Turning Point USA. So I don't know. That doesn't sound like somebody who's really a friend of Charlie Kirk's, who really has good intentions and is coming from an honest place, that you want to find out what happened, who really killed Charlie Kirk. But you never talk about the fact that they have all of the evidence from the Discord chat. They have, let's talk about it. They have the affidavit from the confession from Tyler Robinson did confess to it. Let me ask you another question that Candace won't even bring up because she's not not an honest broker of information, is his parents turned him in. If his parents believed that he was innocent, why aren't his parents going all over the media saying, my son is innocent, my son is innocent? You're not seeing that, okay? Why was there all this prior knowledge in all these Discord chats from this, trans furry community, this gamer community saying, hey, big news on the 31st. I think there's even a song out that Charlie Kirk dead on at 31. Why is all of that? And by the way, I think that that's the evidence that they probably do have in the FBI. I've got 187 in the chat. Tell me where you guys are coming from, and Merry Christmas to everybody. MK Ultra lady. People don't sell out their children. I don't know about that. I think they turned him in. Candace just making up lies, trying to 100% Black Wolf 63.99. You are 100% correct. What about Mikey walking away as if nothing happened? Apple Tree. I don't think that is I think that's a legit question, actually. He does walk away. But that actually brings me to another really, really good point. And I can pull it up in the video, and I probably will in just a second. But Candace Owens was saying that, Mikey McCoy was acting, unusual and strange. And you know what? Again, I ask you, and I'm asking you, Apple Tree, and I'm asking everybody. I did see him walk away. How do you know how you would behave in that type of event? There is no benchmark playbook, normal reaction when you see probably the biggest political assassination since JFK or MLK. Okay, you see something horrific and gruesome and awful, and a life being snuffed out right next to you. You have no idea how you would behave. You just have no idea how you would behave. And again, I want to know. Candace can send me her bona fides. Candace, are you like a hostage negotiator or somebody who is a crisis negotiator, or how many different very, very intense, high stakes, violent incidents or events has she been involved in from an official capacity, where you would be able to make that determination that, oh, this behavior is not correct? That's what I would like to know. Somebody can answer that question for me. Melissa, you should seal all the evidence. Totally agree. This lady is retarded. Are you talking about me, Stone? Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. I'm not retarded, actually. The Candace cult is simply insane. Thanks, Bumps Johnson. They don't want to be, actually, I will stop right there. And I'm going to tell you something. It's very, very interesting. There's this guy, Dennis Michael Lynch, he's an interesting guy. And he was talking about Candace Owens and giving his thoughts on Candace Owens. Now, I don't know whether this is true or not, but he said that Candace Owens' parents, or mother or father, I'm not sure, maybe both parents, she was a child of an alcoholic. And he made a video talking about how children of alcoholics and who maybe have come from that kind of background behave. And actually, I think there's a lot of legitimacy to that, and to understand Candace Owens. And there are something called the 13 characteristics of adult children of alcoholics. And one of them is, I think it goes something like, in the face, they're very loyal in the face where evidence or circumstances would prove otherwise. And so that could be something. Why is she so doubled down on this? Maybe it is stemming from some deep, seated things from her past. Because again, I don't know. I just saw a video. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But it kind of makes sense to me that she sort of is acting like a child of an alcoholic, an adult child of an alcoholic, where she's holding on to evidence in the face of knowing better, essentially. That is one of, and you guys can all look it up. Look up the 13 characteristics of adult children of alcoholics, and that might explain some things. We are all asking, okay, Apple, we are all asking questions, not just Candace. It's okay to ask questions, but in my opinion, she's doing more than asking questions. I think she's it's harassment. Erica was part of Miss America when Trump was over it. That is true. You've got a receding hairline. Hey, yeah, you're right. Actually, you know what? That's fine, and that's true. And my hair triggers people so much I don't even know. But the reason is because I bashed my head into a brick wall about 10 years ago and was fully scalped. So it was because of an accident. But thanks for the nice compliment. Candace Owens has shown us that she has no problems handling the truth loosely, and it is a shame because we could use her on her good behavior. America first, not Israel. Okay, stop. Lady Jenny, she's potentially tainting the jury pool. Okay, all right, so let's keep going. So the thing with Candace Owens, so she's getting challenged. Piers Morgan got her to admit that she really doesn't have any evidence at all. And then she brought out a whistleblower the other night. And what I want to talk about with regard to the whistleblower is, and let me ask you this, and I want you to look at it from the framework of, does this really sound, you see her past behavior, does this really sound like somebody who just, is wrestling with things in her soul and has a deep conscience? So we're going to move to that next part of this. Share screen. You guys can keep insulting me if you want. It doesn't really, honestly, bother me at all. Oh, well, here, we'll share this, because I think this is important too. She's, again, coming from such a godly place, and she's going to sit there with the crucifix behind her and, just be this person who just wants the truth. Yet she's mocking a widow. Here we go. Let her rip.
Blessed us with so much, like literally his book. He has blessed us with so much wisdom, so much. He's just such a good thought leader. He blessed us with laser focus on the mission, on saving this country. But instead, we're so focused on who did what. Like, yes, we will figure all that out. Yes, this is a murder case. He did not die in a car crash. Yes, that will be handled. But my husband's legacy is not about his murder. My husband's legacy is what he left behind.
I just reject that. Okay, I reject that there's a higher calling that we need to all get around, and the legacy of, actually, the legacy, if we find out that the government is implicated, and it looks like to me, and I think a lot of people on the outside, the government is implicated, otherwise it wouldn't require every department of the.
Guess what, Candace? No one gives a shit whether you reject that or not. Again, you have no seat at this table. You do not belong in this conversation from an official capacity, okay? No one gives a shit, Candace. Sorry. And if that makes the audience, all the Cantifa in the chat right now crazy, I really don't care. Bring it. I can handle it. No problem. And you know what? Erica Kirk was talking about something that is really more important. What she's saying is, hey, he's murdered. It's being handled. There is somebody in custody, somebody who has been charged or going to be charged with the murder, and that is being taken care of, and that is underway. But again, she kind of is reflecting the question that I asked from the beginning of this entire live stream is, what is the damage? And she, how much the loss of Charlie Kirk is costing us. And that's what Erica is talking about in this clip. But Miss Holier Than Thou, Candace, who's just asking questions and coming from an honest place, she doesn't accept it. Well, guess what? No one gives a shit. You're not a part of the family. You're not on the legal team. Sorry to hear that. Like Steve Bannon would say, sounds like a personal problem, Candace. All right. So anyway, I'm going to see what, all the people who are flipping out in the chat. This woman is a simpleton who believes the government narrative. So funny. I love it. Where's your seat? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're right. Well, you know what? I don't have a seat. Actually, it's a good question, Shellers. And I love, honestly, this is like Don Jr.'s book, Triggered. It's beyond easy to trigger you guys. But in any event, I don't have a seat. I have a YouTube channel, and this is something that's interesting to me. And I wanted to make videos about things that I think are quite interesting and that I care about. But I'm not demanding that people answer my questions. I am not harassing Erica Kirk. I am not accusing people who are innocent and besmirching them and smearing their names and trying to damage their reputation. So you're right. I just have a seat at my YouTube channel, but I'm not, trying to destroy the Turning Point USA movement. So it's a good question, legit question. But again, I appreciate it. Yank politics is a circus. Just your hair is quite interesting. I don't know why my hair triggers people. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Again, I really don't care. What is wrong with my hair? I don't even get it. What is the problem? But it gives me engagement, so that's fine. And again, I was involved in an accident where my head hit a brick wall and literally all of my hair was ripped off my scalp. So that's what happened. I'm happy to, you guys support the channel. I'll try to do something with my hair. Are you going to give me a super chat over that? Are you going to join? Maybe join, and now I'll try to do something with my hair. I love the fact that my hair just triggers everybody. I think it's hilarious. Gosh, mean people. Oh, see, now you're getting bounced out of here. Delete comment. That's nasty. CIA op. When an elderly person learns new, Erica did date, why lie about it? I gave you a massage. Oh, yeah. Let's all break out our checkbooks and write you a big fat check for being a Karen. Hey, it works for me. You guys are doing it for others. Why not for me? God. Yes, delete the speech that you don't like. Typical. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, we don't tolerate profanity. Actually, I don't even think YouTube would tolerate profanity. I'm actually letting all the insults fly because I don't care. I'm not a snowflake. I'm not gonna have to go hide in the closet and cry all day. So it's okay. Time and time, citizens find out 10, 20, 30 years later that that the government did something wrong. What happens if that is what happening here? It's a good question. I just popped back in for a minute. Okay, no problem. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Okay, don't act like I didn't have you biting the bed. Jeez, good Lord. You aren't a liberal? Who would have guessed? Okay, all right. Her texts are years old. Yeah, that is actually true. Lady Jenny, you're 100% correct. Candace says she's such a friend of Charlie Kirk's, yet she can't produce a text message past 2018 that I've seen, or at least that she shared. But anyway, let's get back to Candace Owen, because I want to talk about a little bit of this position that she takes, trying to position herself as just this holier than thou person with, quite the moral compass, quite a value, a core value, somebody who really cares about the truth. All right, let's see. Give me one sec. Keep talking. You can keep insulting me. I really don't care. Okay. So she had this whistleblower on the other day. The guy's been pretty thoroughly debunked. And even George Webb, if all of you, Candace followers here in the chat have been following George Webb, who's clearly in Candace's camp. He actually told Candace, like, look, you better be careful with this guy because what he is alleging just simply isn't true. So when you've got Candace's camp coming out and telling you that, that's bad news. All right, let's let this rip. Again, ask yourself, how honest a place is this woman? Where does this come from?
I said to myself, this man has lived through so much. You know what I mean? This man has lived through so much. And I would be turning my back on this really a hero for discovering the cartels who's lived through so much and has been treated like the government. And then I struggled with my own soul going, I'm turning my back on him because I'm afraid of backlash for allowing him to tell the truth. And my soul was in conflict.
Yeah.
And I decided that, you know what?
Yeah, her soul is in conflict over this, but her soul is not in conflict over what she's doing to Erica Kirk or destroying the legacy of Charlie Kirk and everything that Charlie built. Her soul's not in conflict about that. Okay. So then she goes on a little further and I'll let that rip.
But this is not my platform. Okay. I genuinely believe this is God's platform.
Yeah.
I'm a conduit. I don't know why I have a platform.
Again, I got to stop there. I don't think this is God's platform, Candace. I don't think this is God's platform. I don't think God would be supporting all of this, the harassment, actually.
And I don't know why you have this luck in life. I really don't. I don't know why these things happen to you or why they happen to me. But I know that my prayer was very intentional that night that I received that email. So I'm going to allow the internet to hear your testimony, hear what you think. And I also want to show them a picture because we did look through some congressmen and I didn't tell you where they were congressmen from, but there is one that you thought looked familiar. And I am going to show that.
Okay. So, she's just such a, spiritual person and she's just got such a good relationship with God and her soul's in conflict about this or couldn't allow it to be in conflict about this, but it's in conflict about other things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward a little bit and ask the audience if you believe that Candace is sincere in what she's saying here.
Or why I got to see what I did and I had no idea.
Hey, maybe this is it. And I can't help but to see God in that and not, God as in people being trained in intelligence to make us think that everything is holy, but rather truly I saw God in that. And
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's hard not to see God in something like that happening in that order.
Wow.
So I don't know what comes next, but I just want you to know that like you have an ally in me and I hope you see that I am a fighter. And when I see good people and bad things happen to them, I will fight. And same for the people that watch this podcast. They are fighters as well. So, and they've had my back and they will have your back. I promise you that.
So I don't know. That doesn't sound very legit to me. I don't believe her. I don't believe that she's conflicted in her soul. That's my opinion. I don't believe that somebody who really wants to live a moral life and wants to follow the 10 Commandments would act the way Candace Owens is acting. But, that's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll share some more. Monica's marked. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Candace should leave Erica alone, whichever way she wants to mourn her husband. 138 in the chat. Hey, by the way, where's everybody from? Please take a poll. I would love to take a poll. I'm not really sure how to do that. I guess, okay, what is the poll? And then I could say maybe one. You tell me what you want me to take a poll about. Why are you so willing to believe Erica Kirk, but so willing to scrutinize Candace Owens? Well, I mean, Erica Kirk, number one, is the victim, not Candace Owens. And I'm not saying, again, I mean, nobody has a problem with asking questions. I don't believe Candace Owens is coming from this judiciously and from an honest place. I don't think she is pure of heart in her approach to this. And I can just tell, I mean, I'll give you one example right now, which I gave in my last live. She says she doesn't lie and that she caught Turning Point USA and lies and all that kind of thing. Well, let me ask you this. Erica Kirk asked her to stop about 2 weeks ago. And she basically said, she had previously said, no, I'll stop if Erica Kirk wants me to stop. Erica Kirk then went on Barry Weiss's program, and Fox and Friends are outnumbered on Fox, and clearly said, stop. I want you to stop. Okay. And Candace did not stop. So I don't believe necessarily in what people say. I believe in what they do. And she shows everybody that she's not an honest broker of information and that she's got some agenda here. Outside of truly trying to vindicate the murder of her best friend that she doesn't have a text message from 2018. So I guess that's how I would answer that question, Nellisphere. And by the way, I appreciate you being at least respectful, because there's some really nasty people in this chat who have had to kick out who are not respectful. Let's keep going. What is the poll that you want? The left is crazy, but this has nothing to do with the left. Y'all go back to sleep. She's an instigator. Who? Candace? Cap in USA 75. You talking about Candace? Here's an honest broker of information. His name is Moses. The information he broke. Yeah, I mean, okay. You're obviously retarded, Charlie Kirk. Can you please comment this? Why did Erica lie about dating? She said she didn't date 5 years before Charlie. That is a lie. Why did they lie? I didn't see the comment. I don't know what it's the context of it, but here's what I would say. Just because, I mean, what do you mean by dating? I mean, that's a little bit of what's the context? Did you go on a date? If you went on a date, that does not mean that you were dating. Maybe you just went on a date. Talking about you. Are they talking about me? Okay. Bumps Johnson, Apple Tree 1441. What's the relevance, retard? Okay. So anyway, the last thing that I want to talk about, and the reason why I did this stream is because my question is, we've got all of this infighting. We've got Candace Owens doing what she's doing. Obviously, a lot of engagement, a lot of attention, but this is all noise. There's really very, very important things happening in the world, and specifically on the right. And it's all being ignored because of this whole stupid thing, the slugfest at AmFest that's been going on all weekend. And I'm not like in love with that whole thing. Candace Owens, she changes her story every day. We'll see what it is going to be next week. Who knows? And then secondly, Megyn Kelly just, grifting away. We've got grifters coming in, I think from many, many areas. But in the meantime, there's important things happening. So as an example, a lot of people on the left want to talk about affordability, or everybody wants to talk about affordability, and that's fair. Something very important that is happening is oil is about $59 a barrel. Now, what does that mean? That means that prices are coming down. That is very important. I do believe that you're going to see in the next quarter, 2026, the first 2 quarters of 2026, I do believe that the economy, as I think, is already turning around. And that's something that's important that's going on. And we've got all this nonsense. Then we've got Dan Bongino, who just stepped down from the FBI, another important thing, and on and on and on. But I mean, that is the point is, Candace, she's certainly allowed to have her podcast. I don't care. I'm not the arbiter of who can have a podcast or who can't. I don't care about that. What I do care about is her gunning for Turning Point USA, trying to destroy something that she's obviously bothered by this. And she is the nucleus of all the cancer that is growing on the right. And I also think that, some people think that a lot of the midterms are in jeopardy. Well, historically, the party that is in power usually loses the midterms. I don't believe actually that we are going to lose the midterms, but this fracture doesn't necessarily help. And Candace said, I don't care about the midterms. So somebody who's so aligned with Turning Point USA and all that kind of thing and aligned with Charlie Kirk would care a lot about winning the midterms. So she's just not aligned on what she says she's, supposed, positions herself to be. We love Candace. We love Nick. We love Trump. The rest of you are noise. We love Candace. Okay. Hopefully we hold the House, yeah. And actually, that everybody wants to blame it on Trump. The House and Senate, they're worthless. That's where we really need the overhaul, if you ask me. They're worthless. But energy prices are coming down. Dan Bongino just left the FBI. What does that mean for us? We've got Elise Stefanik, who dropped out of the governor's race, where I do believe she had a good chance of winning it. I don't know why she decided to drop out. We also have news, and this is going to trigger anybody who, maybe is on the left that's in this channel. And again, we welcome all sides as long as you're respectful. They did just actually prove that there were 315,000 votes that were illegally certified in Georgia. Trump lost Georgia in the 2020 election by 11,000 votes. And now we have it's been legitimized. This is fact. This isn't conspiracy theory. That's other big news. So there was basically an election certified in 2020 that should not have been certified. End of story. Okay? Simple. Hopefully we hold the House. I agree. Spending bills originate in the House. That is true. Sorry, 27-year-old virgin. Okay. Are not feeding into the narrative we were told. She has the right to do what she wants. So people getting mad at her for asking questions is just crazy. Britannica, I think that's where you're misunderstanding. Nobody is mad at her for asking questions. People are mad for her besmirching people, spreading or planting seeds, accusing people, or very, very close accusing people of being complicit in a cover-up, in a murder, or what have you, without any evidence. That is not asking questions. Nobody has a problem with people asking questions. It's when you start to, basically lie, or position things in such a way that's not truthful, and that's not really, she hides certain things to make it appear one way or the other. Georgia vote's not true unless you show proof. Well, they did show proof. They actually, if you want to, Rob Baker, 1841, they did show proof, and actually it's been, legitimized, and that's the official word coming out of Georgia, where they're admitting the fact that they did not certify, or there were 315,000 votes that were counted that were not certified, I believe is the exact sequence of events that is true. Now, they could take those 315,000 votes and count them, and then see, how many did Trump get, how many did Biden get. Would that be proof enough for you? Who cares about Georgia? It's not that who cares about Georgia, is that it was a fraudulent election. 30,000 votes invalid. Actually, it's 315,000 votes. Her question is accusing people, no facts, receipts, and facts. Correct. Hey, it's Rosie O'Donnell. Are you telling me, Rosie O'Donnell? I really don't care. I actually really don't care at all. In fact, I have a good sense of humor. If it's funny, I'll laugh. That's not particularly funny. But if it is funny, I will laugh. You'll get all the answers to your questions at trial. 100% right, Lady Jenny, 1746. I live in Georgia. Stop spreading lies. What's the lie? Well, then you should be looking on your news in Georgia. In fact, I could probably even pull it up for you and prove it to you that, yeah, there was 315,000 votes that were not certified. Excuse me, were not. Um, I don't think they had signatures, is what it was. Yet they were certified anyway. That's not a lie. Yeah, Georgia sucks anyway. It's a place of weirdos. I've actually only been to Atlanta once. So calling someone names to you is funny. I just said I'm not going to flip out because someone's insulting me. I really don't care. I mean, please. News. Megyn Kelly's a coward. Oh, Snapple Apple, how are you? Welcome back, Snapple Apple. Yes, she is. And I don't know if you've caught the first part of this stream, but I covered a lot about it. And actually have more about Megyn Kelly, how when she was with NBC was all pro, she put trans kids or kids that were transitioning on her show when she was at MSNBC. And then she actually, now, she wanted to be all Turning Point USA and all MAGA and stuff like that because now she disagrees with all of that. So whichever way the wind blows is the way Megyn Kelly rolls. I just think the question is retarded. When asked for relevance, you struggled severely. Good point, Bump Johnson. Do you believe Erica was a decade-long plan to assassinate Charlie from their first date? Right. Bumps Johnson, it's a really good question. I mean, what do the people really think is going on here? Erica posted a pic of Cabot Phillips with the word pizza tattooed inside his bottom lip. Okay, I have no idea whether that happened or not. Megyn supported transing kids and she supported the COVID vax madness. You're 100% correct. Snapple Apple. I think Snapple Apple, come and win in the chat. I've only seen a couple from you. I don't know who's going to win the chat today. Snapple Apple is always top contender. Always. Megyn is a mean girl. She is. The biggest difference between you and Rosie that I see is that when you speak, we can still see the rest of your face. I don't know what that means. Is that an insult, Eddie? I don't really care if it is. I mean, we can still see the rest of you. I don't get it. MAGA for life. Why won't the Clintons testify? Good question. Charlie was fatally shot. The word fat is very lightly. I don't know what that means. Fatal. Okay. Got it, Melissa. Okay. Megyn is a bad bitch. Okay, I want to see this comment. Okay, just the fact that they proved the false votes not accounted for should be enough. Who did it? That's what we need to know. We do need to know that. I agree. Megyn has no problem calling out Meghan Markle if she sneezes the wrong way, but she's okay with Candace accusing Erica and his friends of murder. 100%. Erica lied about dating. It is all over Rumble, so no need to play. How is that even relevant? First of all, I don't know whether she lied or not. You don't know whether she lied or not. 210 in the chat. By the way, you guys, again, please subscribe to the channel, join the channel. I'd like you to support the channel. And I think super chats should be open. So we'll prioritize super chats or super thanks or whatever. But anyway, 141 here. Awesome. This has been a great live. Michael Jackson is on the Epstein files. Okay, wait. Apple Tree 1441. I don't know what you're even talking about, but who cares what did she lie about dating? What are you even saying? And how is it even relevant? How are you even relevant? And you need to get them the F eyebrows lined up. Thank you. What mean nasty people? I actually thought I did a pretty good job with it. I thought they were pretty good, actually. You say they're bad? I don't care. Nomadic custom paint. I'm a very, very happy person, and I am very secure in myself. So you can insult me all you want. I really don't care. Unfortunately, the MK Ultra, the Tucker Fuentes candy fans are going to always lie like BLM. Their conspiracy will always be fiery, but mostly peaceful. I know we got the mostly peaceful people in the chat wanting to support insult me all the time. Again, I'm not a snowflake. I'm not going to go away and cry. She is barely hanging on, you can tell. Don't even know what you're talking about. Your owlbears are great. Some of these folks aren't too bright, huh? Thank you, Heather. I know. I don't understand what is. I trigger people with my appearance for some reason. I really don't know why. But I did my makeup this morning and stuff like that. And I'm going to a party later. I got my nails done and stuff. 188 in the chat. Where's everybody from? Merry Christmas to everybody. Did you see how Candace is now playing the black card? LMAO. She's pathetic. Snapple Lapple. Lack of critical thinking skills. Me, Lady Jenny? I don't think you mean me, do you? Because I did talk about critical thinking skills in one of my videos a couple of days ago. You look like you did your makeup with the front of a Mack truck. That's very nice, Nomadic. You must be a very happy person. Merry Christmas to you. By the way, I'd even put more makeup on my face if I could because I like it. I don't care. I don't even have that much makeup on. Jeez. I'm from your worst nightmare. No, not really. You're just probably a moron, to be honest. You're probably an insignificant moron. Did you candy tarts go to church today? You all need Jesus. Snapple. Jesus, the King of Kings. He is, Mason. Fell say 5498. Nasty. Nasty are what libs are all about. I know. They just insult. I don't even get it. What is, your makeup looks nice. Thank you, Willie Wallace guy. I appreciate that. I know. You guys, it's Christmas. I mean, seriously, let's try to be cool here. You don't need to be nasty. Everybody wants, I think people don't want this arguing and all that. Oh, you're Adele. Thank you, Orange Sunrise. I really appreciate that. That's very nice. I don't know, because it just popped up. Why did I read it out loud? I don't know. It just popped up. Okay. Erica's dating life. We'll go to, you're right. I don't care to talk. I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So let's see what else is in the chat. I'm full of blooded Democrat born in 40s will not change. Hey, Michael Frenick, nothing wrong with being a Democrat. I just think that the Democrats have changed. And you're like you probably remind me of like one of my aunts. My whole family was Democrats, and we're traditionally Irish Democrats from the north side of Chicago. But the Democrat Party, used to be the Jack Kennedy Democrats, are no longer. Now it is the party of Mamdani, who is he says he's a socialist Democrat. Well, she's a socialist. He's a communist. So I just think that there's a lot of people like you born in the 40s, the older generation, just don't realize that the Democrat Party left you and they're not what they used to be. And so, I mean, I think that's fair. And I do believe that MAGA and why Trump won twice, well, 3 times he probably won, to be honest, is because he really attracted those old Jack Kennedy Democrats. My parents were like Jack Kennedy Democrats. And I really think that most people, again, are center and we agree on most things. That's my opinion. Fact as a formal Democrat. Facts as a formal Okay. I don't know what facts you're talking about. The Republican Party did end slavery. This is true. Holy horseshit. That's actually kind of funny. Democrats hate America. I actually believe that. And when you've got that guy, Chris Van, whatever, he's like a congressman or a senator from Maryland, when they had the Maryland man who was not from Maryland, who was deported. You had that guy, Chris, who went and visited him. I think he was sent back to it was either Venezuela or not exactly sure, but he was deported back to his original country of origin. And then Chris I think his name is Van Hollen, they do. Why? I mean, why would you do that? Why do you put, people, illegals who do not belong in this country over American citizens? And there's no denying it. So Simply Delicious, I completely agree. I grew up Democrat. These are not Democrats. They are nothing but greedy thugs and hateful people. Debbie, I completely agree. I mean, again, I think we have a lot of people that we were all Democrats. I really do believe that. But things have changed and it becomes so radicalized and so they're Marxists, they're communists. They want a different America. They don't want America. They want America to be destroyed because I don't know why. I mean, that's what you do when you import, something like 20 million, open the borders and we have no idea who came over this border when Biden was president. The Democrats did not ever change. JFK tried to change it and they killed him. Eddie Too Cool, I actually agree with that. The Democrats have been able to enslavement all Americans through taxation. They speak wonderfully. They manipulate. I agree. And Candace Owens, former, person on the left, which is always suspect to me. And same thing with Megyn Kelly. The left actually promote pedoism today. Which party promotes minor attracted persons? Totally true. And you know who started talking about that years ago? Little Big Nate show. Oh, hey, I want to check out your show. Is it on YouTube? Cool. That's actually true. Do you remember a while ago, about 15 years ago, when Bill O'Reilly had the Factor and he used to talk about NAMBLA, North American Man Boy Love? Started all the way back then. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? And that didn't come out of it definitely didn't come out of MAGA. But that was before MAGA, of course, but it didn't come out of it probably came from the left. But did they do? And Megyn Kelly was actually talking about that with regard to Epstein, saying, well, some of these girls were 15 years old. Well, you know what? Get that kind of experience and somebody, doing that kind of thing to you that they did, that Epstein trafficked. 15 years old. Yeah, it's different than 8, but that doesn't mean it's any less harmful. I mean, my God, what's the matter with people? South Park taught us Charlie conspiracies are gay. Thank you, Trump voters. For the $59 a barrel oil, you're welcome. The Fabian Society, Modern Democrat Playbook, Globalist Wish List. Oh, Swagger Like Yous. Hey, you're back. Good to see you. I think I saw you last Sunday. Thank you for coming back. There is absolutely a left and a right. Totally true. The little big, I totally want to check out your show. Once or twice, you might be a victim. If you continue to go back, you're a prostitute. Okay. Let me see a couple more comments. And then I actually do have to go to a Christmas brunch today. I'm not sure if I got if they are done with all their insults yet towards me, Monica. They keep trying to implement democracy. They keep saying we're going to lose our democracy. We, the people, are guaranteed a republic. Eddie Too Cool, I'm a big fan of yours. I think you're giving Snapple Apple some competition for this week's win in the chat. We haven't ever had a democracy. The government functions as one. Yeah, that's true. And actually, I hate when people say we have to preserve our democracy because we are actually a representative republic. People don't understand that. But you seem to get it. Thank you for that. We're losers. Okay. I have went with the Dems for over 50 years. And what did it give us? Rosella Moss 3482. Great question. I'll tell you what, I live in Chicago and I can tell you what it got us. They should change everyone on the island, boys, girls, everyone. Very true, madam. Hey, yeah, I agree. The Democrat Party is the real threat to democracy. Even Bernie Sanders said that. We are both representative democracy and a constitutional republic at the same time. Yeah, there's some truth to that. That's kind of true. But we're not a democracy. I mean, so the popular vote, which is what a democracy would support, doesn't, that's why I don't do it via a popular vote. You live in Chicago. Oh my God. I know. Totally. I know. Don't you feel sorry for me? And there's a lot of actually Trump conservatives in Chicago. You would be surprised. But anyway, so you guys, you know, let me ask you this question and then we'll wrap the live stream because I'm going to go to my Christmas brunch today. But do you think, since we're talking about the left, the right, the Democrat Party, you know, all of this destruction, to what degree, or share with me, that do you believe that this whole thing with Candace specifically is hurting the right? Do you think there's like no effect? Do you think there is an effect? I'd be curious to know if this is going to be threatening to us for the midterms. You know, just share with me what you're thinking, because I mean, I don't like it, but you know, the Democrats, we got AOC, we got Kamala, we've got, you know, Gavin Newsom, all those people. I mean, you can, you know, leave it to them. I mean, they're going to wait till they see what they come out with. I mean, they're as whack as ever. So, I mean, at least not that we're like doing like awesome, relatively right now with this fight. I think we kind of look like clowns. I mean, I like what Ben Shapiro said in the AmFest, you know, struggle fest and all of that. But I mean, come on, you guys, let's talk about stuff that matters. Like I said, $59 in oil, barrel oil, that's going to help the economy. I do think the, you know, first 2 quarters are going to be actually kick ass. Very, very important things that are happening that we should be talking about and thinking about. But I support Trump too. Good. I'm glad. It's needed, and it's the independents that will decide. That's true. Get some help. Are you talking to me? Both side is bad for the problem. Candace went full retard. She's a left winger. I don't know what happened to her, man. I mean, I never listened to her. She was never anybody that I paid any attention to anyway, but I think she's just like not helpful. MAGA won't be around much longer. I disagree. Totally disagree. J 28 280 88. And here's why. The Tea Party, it was the Tea Party, which then became MAGA. So everybody says MAGA is over. It's not over. And actually, it's still the same core group of people. And I do believe that the people who, the more they see all of this stuff that's going on in the world, it just grows. So you can call it MAGA, you can call it Tea Party, you can call it America First or whatever, but that is not dying. And the core group of people that want to see our borders closed, that don't want money going to foreign wars, don't want like all this, another area topic that is important that really is not getting a lot of attention, or as much attention as it should, is all of the fraud with the Somalis in Minnesota. And let me ask you another question. Well, I mean, these people that we're electing should at least be American. I'm sorry, but Ilhan Omar is not an American. How in the world is she holding office? And that's what's irritating me, and that's what concerns me. And we should be zeroing in on that and not all this BS with Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens and Russian planes, maroon shirts, or not Russian planes, Egyptian planes, maroon shirts, you know, got the whistleblower, all of that. We shouldn't be doing any of that kind of stuff. I've got to turn this phone off. Anyway, no, go away. Send a voicemail. So what do you guys think? Not one of you are American. I'm an American. I agree. Get out of here. Trump is stealing America, blind lady. Yeah, I mean, it's just silly. Not only should they be American, but should stop selling out our country. 100%. She looks like an old drunk. Who, me? I don't care. I don't care. I'm not an old drunk. I'm old, but I'm not a drunk. And I'm not that old. Best president we ever had. I totally agree. MAGA even bigger. I agree, Peter. Trump was born in Belgium. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Zoran Mamdani, also not technically born an American. 100% true. And this situation is scary. So let's talk about that for 1 second. So they vote Zoran Mamdani in as the mayor of New York. And it was the younger kids. And they like socialism. And I agree, they can't, Charlie talked about this, average income that you need to make to buy a house when Trump was president was $75,000. Under Biden, it was $125,000. So home ownership is becoming more difficult to achieve. 100% true. But the young people, thanks, Bumps Johnson. I hope, oh, good, you subscribed. Yay. Merry Christmas to you. So the younger people never lived through 9/11. They don't understand. I remember where I was the day of 9/11. They don't understand this. And that guy wants to usher in Islam. That's another thing that we're not talking about. The threat of Islam and radical, just all of this stuff that's happening. We're getting our eye off the ball because of all this nonsense that's going on with Candace and AmFest and everything else. It's just ridiculous. So I have big concerns about that, LaDonna. Melania is not in office. Yep, at work. Wealth gap is the problem, not immigration or Islam. That's actually not correct. And I'll tell you why, because I worked in tech and we do have actually a pretty big problem with the H-1B visas, which is essentially an immigration scam. And they are taking American jobs to the fact where, again, I work for an American company. There's a lot of people from other countries in tech, and there's a little bit of a clique that goes on inside these tech companies where if you're not from that same company, they box you out. So if you're an American, you're not one of, from, said country, they sort of give deals to each other. They protect each other. They promote each other. So that actually is a problem. So you're not correct about that, in my opinion. And I've seen it. My first home loan was 19% interest back in the early 90s. 100% true, LaDonna. That's 100% true. My first home I bought in 1998, and I paid 7% interest. So, people don't even understand history, which is why history is important. Americans are more productive than ever, yet wealth is not going to the people. It's the wealth gap. There is a wealth gap, but immigration is part of it. I'm not disputing that there's a wealth gap. I did a video on it, Tom. You might want to check out my video where I was calling out the leaders and the CEOs of our modern companies and talking about a K-shaped economy. You're exactly right. I 100% agree with that. Nobody's disputing that. So something I've talked about on my channel before. To Monica Media, I moved to America from Canada. It took 10 years, one government to destroy Canada. Average house yeah. Oh, Bob's. Yeah, totally. It's just, there's got a lot of straightening out things to do. H-1B is huge, Tom. It's killing the free market. Ross W. McAllister, welcome to the channel. 100% true. I live it. I know it. I'm in tech. I did a video about it, about Accenture. I called them out. You might want to check it out. I hope you join the channel. Welcome to the channel. Or become a subscriber. Okay, let's talk about this. You support Israel's war. To be honest with you, I don't really care. I don't have I'm sort of sick of the Israel, Palestinian Gaza thing. Obviously that's a terrible thing. There's a lot of atrocities. There's terrible things that are happening. But you know what? It doesn't sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm more worried about my niece and nephew who are 20 and 16 respectively, the world that we're going to live or leave for them, the country that was bequeathed to us needs to be bequeathed to them. I'm worried about freedom. I'm worried about jobs in America. That really is what concerns me. Yeah, Ross, me too. Hey, Ross is backing me up here. I work in tech. I see it every day. It's 100% true, Ross. I'll give you an example. Again, I get boxed out of a lot of things because I'm from America and I'm not from the country that you know what I'm saying. And we just had a reorg in my company. And out of 8 leadership positions, 6 of the people that got promoted with this new, CEO of my company were all from the same country, and they weren't from America, nor were they white males. I think you understand what I'm saying. So yes, AI is a threat. The H-1B visas are a threat. We do have the talent here. I'm just telling you that right now. And I sell complex mission critical stuff in tech. It's not transactional type of stuff. And we have the talent in America and we have the work ethic in America, and we do not need to be importing people from other countries to do the jobs that Americans can do. End of story. Trump cuts people on SNAP benefits, throws illegal via ICE, all that. It's just not right. It was the Democrats that did it, first of all, and Chuck Schumer pretty much admitted it. 225 in the chat. Awesome. What time is it, guys? Okay, I'm going to wrap it for today. Your selfish ignorance is a threat. Okay, I'm not ignorant. I'm pretty actually well informed and know very well what I'm talking about. Trying to run the chat, run the channel, run a video, and all of that. I'm not actually ignorant at all. Dave Chappelle just called out Israel. I did see that. I saw a little bit of that. But anyway, I've got to go to this Christmas brunch. I want to thank everybody for joining. Great conversation, and I'll see you on the next live. Super thanks will be open if you like this. Join. You can join my channel as a membership, or hopefully you at least like and subscribe. Merry Christmas, and we'll do another one soon. Take care, everybody.